Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new segment here on Braddock Media. This is where I weigh in on different prototype photos and pre-orders. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about the life-size Deadpool bust, which you can see here in this picture from Sideshow Collectible and Toys. This is really exciting. I'm just going to kind of give you my opinions. We're going to go through all the different photos and just tell you what I think of the statue. And at the end of this video, you'll get to know if I pre-ordered it or not. Ready? Here we go. So the first thing we're going to cover over is price and cost of this guy. He's $979 US. So by the time I get him up here in Canada, I'm probably looking at, I'd say at least 1,300 bucks. So that's a huge price tag to put into an investment piece for my collection. So that's a bit of big weighing factor. But when it comes to the height of him and the size of him, that's a whole different story because he's huge. Like, he's 28 inches tall. That's the same height as my alien big chap that I had on the show. You can see him. He's 28 inches tall. But the difference is this guy is 19.5 wide, like when it comes to the kind of the side points of him. And then you also have 15 inches long. So he's a big piece. Like, that's 15 by 15. That's over a foot. That's great. And I love the size on him. As you can see, this is the first photo that we are going to address right here. That's the first one in the production lineup that they released, and it kind of has this smirk on it. They get into more this shot again in the thing, so we're just going to flip past this one now and go to the next shot, which is some random cute ginger guy that, got his cell phone out taking a selfie. And I have to admit, if I order this statue, I would definitely be doing that with him because he's way too cool and he's way too amazing looking already. I'm pretty excited about this piece. But yes, and I also have a soft spot for gingers, so that's a helpful selling point. Good job, Sideshow. Good job. So anyways, we'll kind of go to the next shot here, which is now we're getting into the actual bust itself. I love this expression because it's almost like Deadpool's looking at you like, are you seriously spending this much money on me? Because that's ridiculous. And it's got that quirkiness to his character where he just, that sarcastic, yeah, right. And I like that a lot. And there's another reason in a couple shots from here now why I kind of like this. Really actually ends up having two different looks, and I'll tell you that in a bit. So you get a little bit of the arsenal here, which comes in closer shots coming up here. The sword right off the bat, you can tell from the shot, is not, doesn't go all the way down, which is okay because the sword just wouldn't be long enough to have on a bust. They would have to make the actual, like, part that he sits on really big, and that's, I don't know, that's a little bit crazy for me. So I'm okay with that. I do like in this next picture, you can see here in the back, I like how they've edged it down along the bottom, almost like fabric sewn on. This is cool because if it ever got banged or chipped, matching a black or getting a matte black to cover that would be really easy. Trying to match the different shades of airbrushed red and the leather look, that would actually be a lot more complicated and way out of a lot of people's skill set, and nobody wants a big polystone white chip shown off on their statue. What I don't like here, in a little more closer shot in this photo, is I really don't like how the one sword seems to just kind of like slant on the left side, and then this one here on the right has a weird triangular point. I don't know why it didn't just kind of flow straight down with that. I'm hoping that that gets fixed in production, like when this finally goes, again, when we probably see it in Comic-Con coming up this year. Definitely I can see them showcasing it. I definitely think this is all polystone. I don't think any of it's going to be plastic. The swords might be because they do look like they're slotted onto the statue on a really high angle. So that amount of weight, we'll see. Those might be plastic. They do look a little plastic. So that will be interesting. Don't think that it's fabrication up at the top of that. We get a better shot coming up here, so we'll skip on to the next one. This side profile here is really cool. I love the curl of the hood. I love the definition in the jaw and the ear, especially when you get down more into the neckline here is actually really fantastic. I'm digging it a lot. I kind of like the way that the front harness piece actually does dip down further on the statue. I think it adds a lot of depth and detail. You are finally seeing more of a profile of the base. It is a little odd. It's definitely very like X-Men-y chrome, which, I get that kind of crossover maybe when somebody watched the movie when they sculpted this and they kind of had that little bit of Colossus in there. Possible. I don't know. So the next shot here is this is what I was talking about the two different looks. If you showcase him more on this side of him, he has a very serious look, which of course is not so Deadpool, obviously, with his humor, but I like it. It's very in thought, serious nature of, the darkness of what he has gone through. So I like that bit of difference. Definitely going into the front here pieces. We are going to get into a couple shots coming up here that actually show the pieces that are attached here on the right. The base again, very X-Men, very chromy, very Angel, Xavier wheelchair from the movies, I guess is kind of what it's reminding me of, very Cerebro. And then you get to this photo here, which is the front shot. And again, that expression is just bewilderment. And that bewilderment is spending $1,300 on a statue. So now we get a really good shot with the apple. It gives a good size comparison. Again, if you want to see something, size comparison, I guess, would be this R2D2 Bodum here is probably about, which I should have put T in actually, would have been great. He's about 9 inches, I guess. So 28 inches, like, I wouldn't be able to fit him in the shot here. I would definitely have to pan this back further. So that's pretty cool. Getting to this next shot again, you have that bewilderment. This is Sideshow doing their lighting. I'm not so sure I actually like the curve of the base. I almost kind of actually would have liked it if it had gone straight up more than the curve, but it adds a little bit of depth and dimension to it. That's something about the base I would have changed, and I would have made it look more dark brownish or bronzes, something to match the leathering look of up here, or even like red coming down with brown leather look on the side of it would have actually been really fantastic because it would have really drawn in the statue and would have made it look pretty cool, or at least matching more of like the bombs, like the green and red. That would have actually been pretty smashing. Now, here's a shot of the face. I'm really digging the stitching job on this. I'm digging the leather detailing that they have there. I really hope this shows up in the molding process afterwards and they get that little finite detail of that leather kind of porous look of his mask would be really cool. And again, that collaring piece that goes around to hold his mask on looks really old aged leather, which is fantastic. I don't want it to look new. I don't want anything on this statue to look new because it's Deadpool and he's so aggressive and so rough and so like just doesn't give a shit. He just goes at it. So, and always getting attacked. So you don't want him to look that way. So next photo here, again, you're getting a lot of that shading. You're seeing the detail of the curve on the neck here. Really beautiful. I'm enjoying this. The only thing which you can see a little bit more here with this shot in the eye, I don't like the paint job in the eye. It's really looks like it was slopped on with a paintbrush, whereas everything else looks really airbrushed and detailed. Maybe this is great because maybe this is actually what it's going to look like instead of, prototype looking amazing and then all of a sudden Comic-Con comes and you're just like, what the hell is this statue? Hopefully, if not, that could be a pretty easy fix though to have it a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit more dry brushing. It looks like literally black and gray washing in there, but the top of the eye doesn't look so good. Just along that little edging line, there's just something about it that doesn't look very clean. So now that we go on, we got another shot of the collar and the choker area there. Again, the paint could have been a little bit better here. We'll kind of zoom in on this shot. It just looks, again, a little too like brushed, like a paintbrush, which is so weird because everything else on him doesn't really come across that way in the photos. This next shot here is a bit of his armory pieces here, his knife and his different holders. I'm assuming they probably come off and on. It looks plastic, not the little compartment pieces, but the knife actually looks plastic, which in a way I'm okay. We've talked about that on the show when it comes to different plastic pieces and the way that they kind of come off. It's just, yeah, doesn't really, I don't know. I'm okay with it. The weight of it, I don't want it to drop. If it's plastic, there's less chance if it falls off the statue that it's going to break, especially in shipping. So then we have these leatherette things. Obviously, they don't open. I can't actually tell if they're polystone or some type of plastic or leather. So good job on those. Those are pretty impressive looking, and I love the aging. I really hope this still comes through when we get the final product. Here we go with the sword. And we got the handle. Don't think fabric. It would be really cool if that weaving was fabric. I would prefer that actually to have been fabric, but it doesn't look it. Only thing I'm pretty sure is this does look like it's plastic. It definitely does not look like it's polystone the more I get into this. The way that the little disc part there at the handle, I can never remember what they're called, that does look plastic to me. And again, they're on a very sharp angle, so I don't think they could get away with actually having polystone. There'd be way too much chance of knocking it and cracking off the bottom edge line of the statue. So next one is the thing that first attracted me the most to this. I love these bombs. I think they're super cool. As I said, this color tone would have been really cool to see on the base instead of the, Colossus chromey kind of look. It looks like these are actually metal, and that wouldn't surprise me if these are aluminum, because the way that the handle is on this bomb, there is no way they'd be able to mold that in polystone without it cracking or breaking or in shipping. So I am really sure that this is all metal on the top of these. Would be super cool if they could come off and you could almost display them on their own and maybe like hang something else here, but I'm pretty sure they just slot in and lock in that way, or a little bit of a slot with some polystone on them. I guess if you're creative enough, you maybe can actually create something new to go in there, which would be pretty cool, and then have these guys kind of like just on their own little display on the base. Again, here's the stand. We've already kind of addressed that a little bit in this photo. It's very X-Men to me. I don't know why, but it's just really screaming that. It's not really, I know there's that whole, movie crossover, and yeah, I think whoever designed this kind of left the movie with Colossus in their mind a little bit too much. And now we go back to the expression. You can see it in the eyes again. There's a little bit in that white of the eye that's just kind of bugging me. It doesn't look very clean. I think they could have done a better job on that. But I think everything is pretty much polystone except for the swords and the handle on the knife. I think the rest of it probably is going to be polystone, and it looks all attached. I don't think these pieces here or the part that goes over top is going to come off, because that would create way more shipping space on the box than I think Sideshow would ever want to do. And here we've got Ginger Guy again, cute Ginger Guy posing beside him, and that's kind of cool because now you get a little bit more of a size comparison. Again, you can go and check out my Alien Big Chop video. He's same height, 28 inches tall, massive. Like, I looked so tiny compared to that statue. So this is going to be really cool. And now that we've gone over that and we've kind of done that, did I pre-order him? I did. I really did. I put down my deposit. They haven't released the edition number on this guy. I don't think it's going to be very massive, depending on, I guess, but I don't think it's also going to have an exclusive version that's just going to be this one of. Most busts don't come with an exclusive. It's going to be worth the money. It's not coming until October, December next year, so we're looking at spring. That's okay. Gives me time to save up, and that's going to be fantastic. I love him. I'm totally going to take selfies with him. Like, who wouldn't? I'll give him hugs and probably not kisses because I don't want to ruin the paint job on him, but super cool. I'm so excited to get this. It's going to look glorious. It's going to be a great piece to review. It's totally worth the money. It's just, that's the way I look at it. Money comes, money goes. So that's my weigh-in on the prototype photos for the Deadpool. Hopefully he comes, and hopefully he's perfect, and I don't have any issues with him. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all next week. If you love this video, make sure to click below and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me if I'm being crazy to order something so extravagant or spend the price tag. Would you? I'd love to hear your opinions, and I will see you all next week.